Go from the count. Oh, okay.
Hey, you see? Hey, forgive me. I was just in my mind. Hey, I want to talk to you about something that's very important. That's up here. I know you probably say it's the brain, but it's something that the brain does. I want to talk to you about it. And I want to talk to you to see if you're actually using that thing, that one thing that has helped transform the world. Hey, let's discuss this. Stay tuned. Hey, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe to the channel, and share this with at least 3 people. Hey, we're about to get into a conversation that, hey, this could help you probably change the world once you tap into this one thing. Oh, man. Today, we talking about imagination. Yeah, you ever seen the SpongeBob episode where you got rainbow? Well, I don't like talking about it. Forget about SpongeBob. But imagination, one of the greatest gifts that God has given us, is the ability to think, to see, to picture, to create in our minds. Imagination is the preview of life-coming attractions. Imagination is more important than knowledge. Albert Einstein. So he says, imagination is everything. It is the preview of life's coming attractions. You know, like I said, everything we see today, from the plane, from the car, from, cameras, phone, before it was created, someone had to imagine it, thought about it. That is why your thoughts are so important. Your thoughts are so crucial. Your thoughts is the most important thing you possess, because as a man thinketh, so is he. Once you're able to think something, whatever you're thinking, your thoughts, your imagination, that molds you. So, what do you think about imagination? Before I really get into this topic of imagination, the importance of imagination, what do you think about imagination?
Let's go to the Canaan block party.
Be a little louder.
Let's go to the Canaan block party, right? Remember when we made that? Remember when we said think, speak, do?
Yeah.
Remember that thing?
Yeah.
It's like everything you do, you gotta really think about it, and then you speak it into existence, and then you just do it. But to do that, you gotta imagine that it's possible.
Yeah. Okay. So everything we see, again, key phrase, everything we see came from our imagination. You must be able to see it in your mind first. You must be able to imagine it before you can actually physically see it. When I think about imagination, the importance of imagination, one thing I think about is, a lot of times people just think, only artists like painters, musicians, actors, or, people that are into art should have should play along with their imagination, or should let their imagination run wild. But even people like engineers, for an engineer, whether it's whether they're making a new product, or they're making a car, they must have their imagination must be in a way where they could see what they want to actually physically see. So just like an artist, it takes a lot of imagination, to paint a picture. But for an inventor and for an architect who's building a house, it takes imagination to okay, I want to do this, and this and that. But imagination, a lot of times, especially as we grow older, gets a bad rep. It's not cool as an adult, to imagine things or to have wild thoughts. Man, I want to imagine in my head building a time machine. Like, as you get older, it's like, yo, bro, like, be more serious. So it's in a way, like, you see, in the U.S., as you get older, you kind of get badmouth or bashed for having too much of an imagination.
Get a better job.
Yeah, that's for kids. So I want to encourage those, to not let, adulthood kill your imagination. Your imagination is something that you're supposed to continuously, develop, continuously, work on it, imagine stuff. Because it's in your imagination that things that don't exist right now will be given birth. Because when I think about imagination, I think about it as like a big playground in my mind. Like, as an artist, no matter what you're doing, you can use your imagination. Like, whether you're writing a book, you could imagine the story. Whether you play sports, you could imagine the outcome. No matter what it is that you do, you can always imagine. And there was I remember I was on YouTube, I was watching this video, and it was saying, like, your brain. I love the brain. I love the studies of the brain. Your brain, it sends different signals, right? So it was saying, when they did a test, and forgive me because I don't have like the actual, I forgot who did the test, but you can look it up on YouTube or Google. They did this test. There was a group that they were playing the piano, physically playing the piano, right? Learning how to play the piano. And then there was a second group that they were only just imagining. Like, they were just imagining how to, like, that they were playing the piano.
I know what you're talking about.
And then when they actually brought those two groups together, they noticed the results was kind of equal to the group that was imagining and the group that was actually physically practicing. So,
we watched the video.
Yeah, we watched that video.
Yeah,
I forgot the name of it. But your imagination, sometimes your brain don't know really the difference. To your brain, it don't know the difference if you're imagining or if you're actually doing certain activity. So, like, that's why if you're an artist, if you're an athlete, no matter who you are, if you take time throughout your day and just imagining doing what, okay, I'm going to imagine hitting that shot. I'm going to imagine doing whatever you're doing. The more you imagine it in your mind, when you actually physically doing what you're doing or you try to do it, the better you get. Because your mind don't really know the difference when, like, you're imagining and you're actually doing the actual thing. So I encourage those, who think, whether it's because of parents or, teachers or whoever, they're like, stop daydreaming, stop, wake up, da-da-da. I want to tell you, your imagination is the gateway. Your imagination is the gateway to everything you want to do. You want to imagine it. Now, you don't want to just leave. It's one thing you imagine it, and then, you do nothing. But imagine what you want to do. Think of those things that seems impossible. And then, once you imagine it, put action behind those things. Start looking to put actions behind some of the thoughts that you have. And as you put actions behind those thoughts, then you will come to see that the imagination, the things in your imagination are actually possible. What else do you got to say when it comes to the imagination?
I remember in high school, I was in my first job, right?
Yeah.
Before school was about to start, I came back from this retreat. I'm like, bruh, I went back to work, and it's like, it was just draining. Like, it just put me in like this state where there was just no imagination. You couldn't think for yourself.
Yeah.
You had things that were placed for you, so you can do them.
Yeah.
It was like they were basically cutting off my wings to think.
Okay, I like what you said. So, our imagination can be taken from us or can be killed or destroyed. So you hear a lot of artists, like whether it's rappers, singers, painters, they'll tell you, man, like they get in this certain mood. They have to be in a certain mood, and their imagination start running wild in order to do what they have to do. So there are certain environments that can kill your imagination. Structured environments will definitely kill your imagination. Not to say structured environments are not good. They're good and they have their purpose. But if you're stuck in a structured environment all the time, where like, okay, you wake up, do this, do that, do that. So basically, it's like it's so structured, there's no room to imagine. So when you're in environments where like it's so structured, a lot of times the imagination get killed because it's structured. From point A to Z, you know what to do. You're being told what to do. You're instructed what to do. So it leaves no room for you to improvise or for your mind to be like, yo, imagine this and that. So those, you have to be careful. Now I said, structured is good because without structure, we'll have chaos. But you do want to leave room sometimes where like the imagination could run wild and new ideas could form. Like I remember I used to leave time like 15 minutes throughout my day where like I would just like think, like let my mind roam free. Like, and what that does, it allows you just to think about things. Like I normally do that a lot in the sauna. Like, because I normally go in the sauna for 30 minutes. And when I'm in the sauna, I tend to just like let my mind go. And when I let my mind go, like I start thinking about ideas. Yo, like what if I do this way? Like imagine if I put this in, and problems that I had, I start finding solution. So your imagination can be killed and destroyed. Now, I want to read the definition of imagination. It says the faculty or action of forming new ideas or images or concept of external objects not present to the senses. So basically, your imagination is how you form new ideas, how you come up with new concept, images of objects that is not yet present to the senses. So your imagination is almost disconnected with your senses. And for those, well, your senses are what you can see, what you smell, what you hear, what you can touch, and what you can taste. Yeah. So your imagination is one of the most important thing, if not the most important thing you have. Why? Because your imagination is supposed to break the barriers between your five senses. So the things you cannot see, the things you cannot hear, the things you cannot taste, the things you cannot feel, the things you cannot, all those things, your imagination takes you beyond that. So that is why sometimes some people even get scared of their imagination.
That's a fact.
Because it's things you never saw, never heard, never touched, never taste. It's like, whoa, like, yo, I shouldn't be thinking. But there was once upon a time we never saw a plane. There was once upon a time we never tasted pizza. There was once upon a time we never heard drums. We never heard a guitar. So it was weird to certain people. There are certain things, even medicine. There was a point in time that when modern medicine, like, especially pills, was introduced, people used to think it was witchcraft. So there's going to be a lot of things that, your imagination will bring to you. Now, of course, be mindful, because there are things your imagination can bring. You need to just cancel them. You need to, delete those thoughts. Right. But if it's nothing demonstrative, if it's nothing that's not going to bring any harm, that is not sinful, that is not evil, then those are thoughts you need to ponder more on and work them out. For example, if you have a new idea of how you could better transportation that you never saw before, if you have a new sound, you could imagine a new sound. If if you can like literally imagine a new food, those are things that are gonna better the world. So those are the thoughts you want to, imaginations you want to like, work on, like work them out. Because your imagination is the bridge, to tomorrow. So what is something that you imagined? It could have been like a food like I did, anything that you imagined that came from your imagination that you never actually like tried it or did something towards it. What is something in your imagination that you've thought about that came from your imagination that you just pushed to the side? Comment down below. I want to know, because the iPhone was once was a thought. It was just in the imagination. You have to be able to see it before you can touch it. This was another episode of the MR.NOLDS organization. There's another discussion. Hey, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and most importantly, man, share that. Hey, hit that share button. Share this with somebody. And don't forget, we need your answer to that power question. I want to know, what did you throw aside? Comment down.